Welcome, champions. This is Arcadia.
Hello, Arcadians. Here with my fellow writers. I'm Sean, by the way, with my fellow writers Eric, Doug, and Dylan. And we're doing something a little different from our other videos where we've been talking about like our story and our process and everything. This is going to be just some of our favorite stuff. We're going to talk about movies. We're going to just name, maybe a couple of our favorite movies, some recent movies we've seen that impressed us. Maybe things we'd like to recommend to you, which probably is going to be very similar to our favorite movies or recent movies. Maybe a sleeper movie that's something that like hardly anyone's heard of, but it's like one of our top 20 or something. And we might try to talk about some movies that we like or that you might have seen that might relate to this project that we're writing for Omen and the Arcadians and everything. So I always watch the Best Picture nominees each year, and so those are kind of high in my mind. I'll call those recent. And of the 10, there was a lot of them were really good. I'd say they're all worth watching. Maybe a couple weren't, but I'd rather talk about the positives. One bad after another. That was the big winner, and it was a great, exciting, fun, cool, unique, quirky movie. And Train Dreams was kind of the nominated for Best Picture, but kind of a sleeper in a way. I hadn't heard of it till the nominations came, and it really impressed me. It was kind of a sense of drama about a man's life. But anyway, some of my all-time top favorites. A few will say my top 5 or 10 are kind of like standard classic. Yeah, of course, like Star Wars, The Princess Bride. I like a lot of classics, The Graduate, Casablanca. But I've also got maybe some foreign films up there. I'm gonna kind of blur into my recommendations, but like Amelie is one of my favorite movies. Spellbound is a documentary, is one of my favorite movies. All these things I'm naming as my favorites would also be recommendations. And a sleeper movie, I would say there's this movie called 8th Grade that came out a few years ago. And man, it was so good. I feel like it could have won. I feel like it's a certain type of different ways to evaluate how good or why you like a movie is. But for me, one thing I think about is, would the whole world be better off if someone saw this, if everyone saw this? And some movies are cool or exciting or appeal to you, but it might not be world changing, right? But this movie, 8th Grade, just about a girl in school going through it, and in modern times, it kind of account for social media and cell phones. Really good. Anyway, Matrix is the one I would say that I like the most. It's best known that we relate to the story we're writing here. There's probably a few others I could come up with. I've rambled enough. Let me turn it over to who's going next.
All
right. Yeah. I'm Doug. I also watch a lot of movies, but I don't watch it for a more professional standpoint. I just watch movies because I like to watch fun movies. I just finished watching Wild Robot the other day. That was a movie from DreamWorks that really took me by surprise. Then when we're talking about favorite movies, I gotta throw my hat in for V for Vendetta. That's easily one of my favorite videos and movies that I've ever seen. A movie that I wish people watched more is Warcraft, The Beginning, that live-action Warcraft movie we got. It does not get enough love. That movie was made with passion from people that made the game, and it really did a great job of showing the world of Azeroth in live action. And I feel like more people need to watch it. But if you're gonna watch anything from the list of things I say today, watch D&D Honor Among Thieves. That movie did not get the love it needed when it came out, and that movie is just one of the best fantasy movies to come out in the past, I'd almost say 10 years. And then anything related to the show, Lord of the Rings, watch it. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
Oh man, I'm Dylan. I as much as these fine gentlemen also love movies a lot. I feel like I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. There have been so many great movies that have already been talked about, and I'm going to add like my silly stuff in, I guess, because a lot of what I like is silly comedies, funny comedies. I love a good sports comedy. This is going to sound really ridiculous, but I think Happy Gilmore is one of the funniest movies that has ever existed, and that really informed a lot of my like early comedy and like the class clown approach to things. A lot. I'll tell you something that I watched recently that really kind of grabbed me was Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Sam Rockwell. I don't want to spoil too much of it because it is a really wild ride, but it takes a sci-fi trope and kind of flips it and spins it on its head. But it's so like biting with its like social satire the entire way. It's really an enjoyable ride. Oh, let me see. I think a movie that everyone should see is The Imposters from 20 years ago or so. It's Stanley Tucci and Oliver Platt and a cast of like 16 other people that you recognize and know, and it's just a big, fun movie set in, oh man, the like early 20th century in America, and it follows these two actors and the shenanigans that they get into. Really well done. Love the production value. Oh, another movie with excellent production value, Bunraku, which its name is a Japanese style of theater, and the movie kind of encapsulates that, and you feel like you're watching a staged production of that. And then how are we going to relate to Arcadia here? Writing a lot of the in-game scenes and kind of living in that world. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner and Alan Rickman is like the medieval like trope fantasy world, like true to form fantasy world that I like imagine that style, that cinema in Arcadia. But yeah, those are my recommendations and things that I like.
All right, I'm Eric Davis. So I went over this in the last couple of weeks where I kind of talked about my past. But a huge influence on me for movies when I was younger was either horror movies or stuff that were like by big producers like Steven Spielberg. Jurassic Park. I mean, that was a huge influence on me. Judgment Day. This is early on, and that movie may not even be that great, but you know, it did influence how I wrote stuff. I feel like, but Christopher Nolan, The Dark Knight. I love that movie a lot. From everything from the score to the writing to the acting to just how Nolan just directed and made that production. I'm just heavily inspired by that. Quentin Tarantino. I loved his early stuff, especially like Reservoir Dogs. Of course, Pulp Fiction, but I really lean toward Reservoir Dogs more. Just an ensemble cast. Didn't know who was really the main character. You could maybe argue who was, but like, and the fantastic performances with a low budget. I feel like I haven't watched too many recent stuff just because I've been more watching TV shows, but animations, you know, there's like Spirited Away and The Cat Returns. These are Miyazaki films. I love Japanese culture, and especially when they make it into cinema, like Miyazaki. It takes me to another world, and I love that experience of how they direct, how they even just make that stuff. Oh yeah, related to Arcadia. If I had to pick, even though the show is like horror based, it's very just character driven, and so I love a good character driven movie. And to be honest, I can't name any off the top, but like Nolan does great character driven stuff. And I mean Quentin Tarantino. I brought these two directors already up. I mean, this is not like, oh, it is kind of Hitchcock. I mean, that's old, but like I cared about his characters, and he did. You know, it was a different time and a different style of movie making back then, and he would just take like looking across the apartment complex, and you just care about this guy in a wheelchair. Anyways,
Eric, I was going to say that you kind of presented a couple new topics, sort of, right? Like you named a couple directors, you know, and that made me want to say Wes Anderson. He's one of my top directors for sure. I love, you know, Kubrick and a lot of the others too, and I know a lot of people don't like Wes Anderson, but something he does just it's made for me. I don't know. And in Dylan, I wanted to point out that I feel like most of the movies I named were kind of heavy dramas. But I have a lot of comedies in my top favorites also. Like I love Step Brothers and Napoleon Dynamite, you know.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And so Eric also brought up anime or animation maybe in general or Japanese animation. I don't know how specific we want to get, but that could have easily been a category. And think a second for what my top favorite one is. But probably well, that's really the TV show. Anyway, I'm pretty sure other people are gonna want to like put their 2 cents on these. I get Toy Story if I had to pick. If that counts as animated, I
did mean to bring up Pixar, and I didn't even think about that. And there were so
I
many
brought
good
up
ones.
DreamWorks.
You did bring up DreamWorks, yeah, and I Robot was DreamWorks, right?
Oh no, not iRobot. Wild.
Robot.
I mean, that's what I meant. Yeah. My bad.
Anyway, Dylan, Doug, do you guys have like a certain director you want to throw out, or you know maybe some other outside the core of what you named, some other thing that wasn't quite in there you want to represent?
Oh yeah, yeah. As far as director goes, I love Shane Black. I think he does really good work. He did The Nice Guys and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. It's just, you know, they're noir stories, and he does them very well, and he treats his characters very well. You know, like this is a lived-in world, and you're actually feeling for his characters in it, and the dialogue's super sharp. I really like that as well.
I was going to say, not a director, but an actor. You will never have a bad time, almost, with Nick Cage. You can watch almost any Nick Cage movie, and you'll always at least be entertained. It's very rare that you'll find one where you're just bored.
I didn't bring up, I don't know why, but I mean, I was big into action when I was younger, and like Aliens was freaking awesome, and I still love that movie to this day. And Terminator, you know, Terminator 2. I mean, it's over the top action a lot, but I feel like 90s had like this age of like just action. Like, well, they just didn't use a lot of special visual, like computer effects when it comes right down to it. They used the practical effects, like when someone is driving a motorcycle off of, a ramp. They're really doing that. They're not using CG to do that, and that just had its own charm to it, I feel. So.
All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we would love to hear from you about your favorite movies or whatever kind of category you want to throw out there. And look forward to a couple more videos on this along this line where we'll discuss games, documentaries, TV shows, whatever else. All right, Arcadians, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to what we're putting out. Please like and subscribe because that helps us get the word out better. And reach out to us. Leave a comment. Find us on other social media. We really want to engage with you. And in the meantime, stay ever vigilant.